Nothing is ours except time. Seneca. Have you ever wondered how you're spending this extremely valuable resource? Are you truly living your priorities? Every day we are gifted with the treasure of time, and it's up to us to decide how to employ it. Have you really been living your priorities? Because when we dedicate our time to things that truly matter, like the pursuit of knowledge and moments of reflection, strengthening bonds with friends and family, and the development of meaningful projects, everything else in our lives naturally falls into place. Deep down, we all have an awareness that life is ephemeral. But it's during painful farewells to loved ones that we realize our fragility in the face of existence. In Stoicism, Seneca teaches us that often we think life is short, when in reality we waste it. Seneca, a Roman statesman and Stoic philosopher, discovered that if we want to live a fulfilling life, we must be eternal students of the most important subject of all, life itself. In his moral essay on the shortness of life, Seneca offers us an urgent reminder about the non-renewable nature of our most important resource, our time. In this video, we will explore 10 profound insights from Seneca on time management, and I invite you to stay until the end to discover how to apply these lessons to your own life for a more meaningful and fulfilling existence. But before we start, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any knowledge, as it could change your life. 1. Treat time as a commodity. Seneca says, "You will find no one willing to share their money, but how many each of us divides our own life. People are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to wasting time, they are most extravagant, of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy." Seneca warns us about our neglect in considering the value of time, even though it is unquestionably our most precious and irreplaceable resource. Imagine walking down the street and seeing a very wealthy person throwing their money away. You would definitely call that person crazy. However, every day, we witness ourselves and others squandering something even more valuable: our time. If you want to discover how much time you're wasting, try this simple exercise. Look at your time as a financial asset. How much do you think each hour of your day is worth? $60? Maybe $100? Now let's be brutally honest. How many of these hours do you waste daily? How many hours of your day do you act without a clear purpose? Let's assume you waste about 3 hours a day on unproductive activities, such as futile social media interactions or filling your mind with empty information. In a month, these 3 daily hours add up to 90 hours. If your hour is worth $60, that means you're losing $5,400. Imagine if that money were withdrawn from your bank account every month. Would you passively accept it? So, why do you do this with your time and not care? Seneca questions us. Why do you live as if you were destined to live forever, without thinking about your own fragility in the face of life? Time is the one thing we can never get back, and the ease with which it can be taken from us is precisely why we must protect it so fiercely. 2. Do it now. Seize the present. Trust tomorrow even as little as you may. Seneca. First comes laziness, then procrastination. Lazy people never do what they should for various reasons, because it's too hard, because it takes too long, because they don't feel like it. Procrastinators simply delay things. They say to themselves, "Oh, I'll definitely do it, but not now. I'll have time at the end of the week." And this applies to most of us. We get anxious about accomplishing important tasks, often worrying so much that anxiety consumes us. So, we rationalize procrastination and imagine perfect scenarios in our minds where our future selves will surely complete the task. Seneca said we should always remember that fortune does us no harm unless she finds us wanting in some way. Waiting not only increases the likelihood of not completing the task, but we are also subject to life's interruptions. But we can't count on the same luck to have a tomorrow to postpone again. If you want to make the most of your time, limit the use of the phrase, "I'll do it later," and start saying, "I will do it now." Understand the power of deadlines. Create a simple list of dreams and goals you aspire to achieve, and set real deadlines for them to happen. Develop the habit of reflecting on your day and examine how you've spent your time throughout it. If we don't set aside time, even if it's just 10 minutes a day, to examine ourselves as honestly as possible, we're doomed to repeat the same mistakes over and over. This way, you'll know exactly where you need to improve, and it will be much easier to chart your path toward becoming the person you want to be. And always remember, while we waste our time hesitating and procrastinating, life continues. Seneca. 3. Live life for yourself. To quote Seneca, "Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant." We all have certain things we want in our lives, whether it's a dream job, a dream home, a dream relationship, or dream vacations. But most of us never come close to achieving many of these things because we're stuck in jobs we hate just to pay the bills, or in relationships we pretend to love because we don't want to be alone. You're just being pushed and influenced by everything that's coming your way. And in today's world, we have stimuli and information at our fingertips all the time. Then, we delude ourselves by saying, we don't have enough time to try new activities. Being busy is always your choice. Being busy with things you don't like is life's greatest distraction. We routinely go through our days, showing up for our obligations, but being absent for ourselves, confusing doing with being. The best way to invest your time is by investing in creating a life you love, living. If you don't know what you love or what you want, ask yourself these questions. If I had more time, what are the things I could do? Or if I could change something right now about myself or my life, what would it be? You might realize you want to change jobs or get in shape or pursue a new hobby. Another important practice to start living for yourself is learning to say no. One of the hardest things in life is saying no. With no comes the fear of hurting the people we love and the desire to please everyone. But if you're not careful, these are precisely the impositions that will overwhelm and consume your life. Have you ever wondered how you can reclaim some of your time, or how you can feel less busy? Start by learning the power of no. Say no, thank you, and no, I won't get involved in that, and no, I can't right now. It might hurt some feelings and push some people away, but the more you say no to things that don't matter, the more you can say yes to things that are good for you. This will allow you to fully live and enjoy your life. The longer you wait to start making changes, the more time you'll spend in your life tending to other people's priorities. 4. Stop spending time preparing for life. According to Seneca, those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear for the future have a life that is very brief and troubled. When they have reached the end of it, the poor wretches perceive too late that, for such a long while, they have been busied in doing nothing. We are all guilty of spending too much of our time preparing for life. Seneca encourages us to live in the now. Don't postpone your happiness. Don't think your happiness lies in the future. He criticizes those who think they can work diligently until they're around 60 years old, retire, and finally be happy. Our future is uncertain and beyond our control. The future life you're working for may never come. We are so busy and concerned about the future that we often let the present slip by, allowing time to pass unnoticed and uncontrolled. And then, when we're old and on our deathbeds, we finally realize how short and valuable life is. We regret not fully living it while we had the chance. To prove this point, just read obituaries. Nobody regrets the money or missed opportunities. They regret the time not lived. Seneca compares time to a rushing stream that doesn't always flow. If you were in the middle of a desert dying of thirst and you found a stream of water, but you weren't sure when it would stop, would you not drink as much as you could? Just like water, we should use as much of our time as possible to make the most of our present. It's worth planning your 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond. But don't let them take away the most precious thing, the present. You can only live one moment at a time, and you can only live it once. so choose to live in the moment. 5. Make long-term rewards immediate. As Seneca puts it, putting things off is the biggest waste of life. It snatches away each day as it comes and denies us the present by promising the future. The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy. Our need to procrastinate is most powerful right at the beginning of a task. Even if all distractions have been eliminated and you're ready to start at 8 a.m. as planned, your brain is still drawn to the idea of finding an excuse to do something easier. The hardest challenge is finding a way to make that initial effort less unpleasant. The key here is expectancy. That's what we crave when we want to delay something we know will benefit us. That's the gap between short-term impulses and long-term rewards. The reason it's often difficult to start something is that there's no expectation of immediate reward. Sometimes the reward is years away. However, if you associate your work with the expectation of immediate reward, you give yourself a good reason to start. For example, if you procrastinate on social media, you can make an agreement not to access it until a certain amount of work is done. This way, you reward yourself by completing the unpleasant task with something immediate. 6. Spend some time reflecting on your past. Seneca informs us, life is long if you know how to use it. He suggests that we should spend some time reflecting on our past. Seneca divides time into 3 parts: the transient present, the uncertain future, and the unchangeable past. All modern time management lessons teach us to focus our efforts on the present, leaning toward the future. They prioritize the uncertain and the transient. However, Seneca advises us to pay attention to our past. If we want to enrich our existence, we must cultivate enough self-awareness to extract valuable lessons from our past experiences, becoming more effective in the present. When you genuinely take a moment to stop and think, to understand what shaped your character and what made you the person you are now, it becomes quite enlightening. It helps us be fully present and understand the changes happening within us. It also helps you take responsibility for yourself and your actions. Sometimes it can be hard for you to see how far you've come, especially if you tend to compare yourself to others, but spending time reflecting on your past gives you space and time to see how far you've come in life. 7. Make the most of your free time. As we learn from Seneca, it is not that we have so little time, but that we lose so much. The life we receive is not short, but we make it so. We are not ill-provided, but use what we have wastefully. We all work hard to earn 2 things: money and free time for leisure activities. We work 8 to 9 hours a day to earn free time, only to waste that hard-earned free time on trivial things. As some people point out, you have to stop and say, no more. Stop wasting your hard-earned free time. Even if you love your daily job, keep the time spent working to a minimum. You never get those extra hours back. They're gone forever. Many of us use our lunch breaks to eat at our desks. Instead, we should make the most of our lunch breaks. Read, write, exercise, or visit a museum or gallery if you work in a city. Maybe start a Stoicism group at the office that can meet during lunchtime. On weekends or in the evenings when you have more free time, make the most of it by meditating, reading, exercising, or keeping a journal. Anything that adds value to your life. If you want to break free from mediocrity and start living your life, then you need to start making the most of your free time. 8. Stop wasting time on life's trivialities. As we learn from Seneca, people are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to wasting time, they are most extravagant of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy. We are all guilty of spending too much of our time on useless things. These days, our time is increasingly spent on screens, whether at work or on social media, endlessly scrolling through status updates and posting endless selfies. How often are we caught giving our time to others for nothing more than the pursuit of monetary and social benefits? Casually playing a mindless mobile game is a waste of time. Time that you could be using to develop a useful skill, exercise, or enrich yourself with literature, art, or music. The same can be said for social media. Like other forms of open entertainment, social media is designed and optimized to consume your time. 9. Invest your time in creating memories. To quote Seneca, "While we are postponing, life speeds by." If you give money to a wealthy person, they'll try to double their money by investing it where they'll get the highest return. Similarly, we should all invest our time wisely, and the best return we can get from our time is by investing it in creating new memories and philosophizing. Seneca tells us that memory outlasts pain. We spend too much of our time chasing what makes our short life even shorter. And when we grow old, we regret not having lived fully. One of the enemies of happiness is adaptation, says Dr. Thomas Gilovich, a psychology professor at Cornell University, who has studied the connection between money and happiness for more than 2 decades. Gilovich and other researchers have found that memories of life experiences, no matter how simple, provide longer-lasting happiness than things. Memories guide our thoughts, actions, and decisions. They shape who we are. You can start creating new memories by taking on new challenges, spending time with people you love, traveling, seeking new opportunities. Buying an amazing cell phone won't change who you are, but we are the accumulation of everything we've seen, the things we've done, and the places we've been. 10. Invest your time in philosophy. In our last piece of wisdom from Seneca in this video, we learn that only those who are leisurely and carefree can be said to be at leisure. Whatever one has to do, it is leisure to do it, seeing that for this one's whole life is available. Seneca points to the study of philosophy as the only worthwhile occupation of the mind and spirit, an invaluable teacher that helps us learn how to fully inhabit ourselves in this brief and fleeting period of existence and expand our short lives sideways so we can live broadly instead of living long. Philosopher means lover of wisdom. Philosophy is the study of truth, virtue, life, and death. Nothing in this world is permanent except truth. The philosopher always seeks to discover the truth about this world and our role within it. Start with books and videos on Stoic philosophy. They were made for your benefit. The knowledge and wisdom they contain are condensed time, and that time compressed into their pages increases your time. School is one thing, education is another, but it is your responsibility to educate yourself throughout your life. And if you like this content, don't forget to share it with someone who might need it. Help us spread this amazing knowledge. Now, if you want to understand a bit more about Stoicism, just click on one of the videos that's appearing on your screen. Thank you for watching.